I'm Rob Gillum. I'm with Weller Bee Supply, owner-operator. I'm out here today at the bee yard. Got a little snow on the ground. I get emails every once in a while, people asking about how can you tell whether your bees are still active inside the hive. I also hear where people will come out to their bee yard and the first thing they want to do is knock on the side of their hive or peck on the side of their hive to see if they can hear bees. That's one of the worst things you can do when the bees are in the cluster. You'll actually break up the cluster, and the bees that are to the outside of the cluster, they create a shell, and this shell is what contains the warmth of the cluster. So by knocking on it, you're actually making the bees that are on the internal part of the cluster become active, and this knocks the outer shell off and they fall to the bottom of the hive and they're too cold to where they can't get back up to the cluster. So what my general rule of thumb is, if you come out on a sunny day, today it's only about 35 here, but earlier we had a little bit of activity at the front of the hive. The bees are working because the heat of the sun will warm the hive a little bit to where they'll move. Now if you see that, well then it's okay to maybe move a few things or whatever, because you know that the bees are moving inside the hive. Now what I'll generally do if I come out on a cold day and I'm just kind of interested in what's going on, well, I've actually got myself a cheap stethoscope. You can take and put your stethoscope on, place the earpiece right against the hive and you can hear the humming. As you check around the outside of the hive, you can actually kind of tell where the cluster is in the hive. So just remember, whenever you're out on a cold day, if the bees aren't moving at the entrance or at your sugar board entrance, then don't bother them. Leave them alone because you don't want to disrupt the cluster. So that's just a tip I was giving the young beekeepers out there and some of the older ones too. But anyway, don't forget us. If you like our video, give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.